Questions for ISIS. Question number 1. Why is the most terrible evil on earth called by an abbreviation? BBC tries to answer that question in their article called ISIS, ISIL, IS or Daesh, one group, many names. The jihadist group which controls territories in Syria and Iraq is sometimes referred to by different names by English-speaking governments and media. UN and US officials generally use the acronym ISIL, that means Islamic State in Iraq and the Levant. The group itself, though, has not used that name since June 2014, when it declared the creation of a caliphate and shortened its name to Islamic State, or IS, to reflect its expansionist ambitions. At the same time, other media have continued to use ISIL or ISIS, which is based on the other widely used translations of the group's former name, Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, or Islamic State in Iraq and Al-Sham. Another widely used term is Daesh or Daesh. Daesh is an Arabic acronym formed from the initial letters of the group's previous name in Arabic, Al-Dawla al-Islamiyya fil Iraq wa al-Sham, something like that. Daesh or Daesh also sounds similar to an Arabic verb that means to trample down or crush something. And they say that all this confusion with the names have started because the media were not sure how they must translate the word Al-Sham. Because Al-Sham can be translated variously as the Levant, Greater Syria, Syria or even Damascus. The term was commonly used during the rule of the Muslim caliphs from the 7th century to describe the area between the Mediterranean and the Euphrates, Turkey and Egypt. Can you still follow? Here's what CNN has to say about this.
There's a name that ISIS hates being called, despised so much in fact they've threatened to cut out the tongues of anyone who uses it. That name, Daesh. There's a big discussion on what to call the terror group. We say ISIS, others say ISIL. The state of the Islamic Caliphate is what they'd like to be called, Islamic State for short, but what they hate is Daesh. It's an acronym, and in Arabic it translates as the Islamic State in Iraq and the Levant, the name they used before they declared their so-called caliphate last summer. But many Arabic speakers still just call them Daesh. So what do they hate about it? Some say it's because it sounds like other words, including Daesh, which can mean, among other things, to stomp on something. Some ISIS supporters say they want the full name of their alleged state to be shared with the world. There's a push in the West to start calling them Daesh to deny them the legitimacy Islamic State implies. France has already started doing that, and even some US officials. So what about the other names we use in English? ISIS, the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, or another version, ISIL, the Islamic State.
Alright, let's look at this critically. BBC and CNN tell us that the Arabic acronym Daesh, which means the same as ISIL in English, make the jihadists very, very angry. Why does the Arabic abbreviation irritate them so much? Even if this word means to stomp or to crash something. What's so terrible about it? How does this Ben Weidman know that the jihadists hate the Arabic abbreviation? When have ISIS ever published anything about them hating the Daesh name? Why did they choose this name for themselves anyway, if the acronym of it in their own language is a word that they hate so much? The medias think that we'll believe all that shit. The last boogeyman was called Al-Qaeda, which means database. This new scarecrow has got even more stupid name, that no one even knows for sure and that no one even may say.
Они даже обещают отрезать языки. Bullshit.
Of course it's bullshit.